All right, we are locked and loaded for another exciting episode of Visionaries and Influencers podcast, and we have a gentleman here I've known for a while, Mr. Kody Bateman. He's the founder and visionary for SendOutCards. He's got a lot of projects, spin a lot of plates these days. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your new book. You just arrived here in Atlanta on the tour. This is The Power of Human Connection.
It is. Thanks for having me on there, Rich.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. We're going to have some fun there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We already got some fun started here. We're going to be talking about your observations on visionary influence, people that you've influenced, visionaries that you look towards. And at the end, we're going to have something fun, and so I'm going to do a roundtable discussion on all these topics. So you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's make some radio magic happen here.
Imagine having conversations with some of the most influential people of our time. You and I will be doing exactly that on this episode of Visionaries and Influencers podcast. Today's conversation made possible in part by Rockstars Podcast Studios, creators of podcasting as a service, offering rentals, production, and distribution. Visit rockstarspodcaststudios.com and also by Podcasters Directory, the world's largest directory for and about podcasters. Register now at podcastersdirectory.com. Now, let's join Rich Casanova, broadcasting live from the Pro Business Channel studios in Atlanta and worldwide across the PBC syndicated networks for a conversation with today's visionary and influencer.
And that gentleman is none other than Mr. Kody Bateman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate being here.
This is a book tour, and this is your third stop along 9 cities, I understand?
Yeah, we're having fun. We started in Charlotte a couple nights ago, we're in Nashville yesterday, and now we're here in Atlanta.
In Hot Atlanta, as we like to say here,
yeah, it surely is.
Right, exactly, yeah. All right, so let's dive right into it. As we mentioned, we're going to be talking about you, the founder and visionary of SendOutCards, which is a phenomenal service I've used in the past and a big proponent of. We're going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about, obviously, visionaries and influencers, and then that roundtable discussion. So talk to us your insights on this premise of visionaries. So who comes to mind, or how would you define a visionary and what makes them unique and different?
Well, I think the key to a visionary is just somebody that is themselves. I mean, they're going to be who they are, regardless of what anybody thinks of them, and they're just going to, people have their own story in their own mind before anybody else knows. Like, you know the genius that's in you before anybody else knows it. A visionary understands that, and they get the message out. I think of people like, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali knew that he was the great. Like,
the greatest.
When I say Muhammad Ali, or when I say, I am the greatest,
right,
everybody in the world knows who you're talking about when you say I'm the greatest, because that was Muhammad Ali's thing. And so to me, that's what a visionary is. They know who they are, and they're not afraid to say it.
So I've got a quick definition on visionary. We did a little research on this. So a visionary is someone with a strong vision of the future, right? That does have that long distance perspective, right? Now, such visions aren't always accurate. Visionaries' ideas may either work brilliantly or fail miserably, right? We've all been there. But even so, a visionary is usually a positive word. Martin Luther King Jr., for instance, was a visionary in his hopes and ideas for a just society. The world is also adjective. Thus, for example, we speak of a visionary project, a visionary leader, a visionary painter, a visionary company. I know you've spent a lot of time in that space. So, I mean, what skill sets or what dynamics does a visionary typically, personality traits do you see in a visionary?
Well, I think you kind of mentioned a little bit yourself. They see into the future. I think of Walt Disney.
Right.
Walt Disney had a vision in his own mind that nobody could comprehend. I mean, think about it. Think about back in the olden days when he started with this little mouse and he had that concept. You go to a Disney facility today and you see the vision that was in his mind, I don't know, 50, 60 years ago. Nobody could figure that out. Right. So,
matter of fact, we were just talking about Walt a little bit earlier in the studio today, just on that subject matter, and I'm reading a very interesting book called Rocket Fuel. This is the premise of visionary. In any organization, you have a visionary and an integrator, right? And so in that story, Walt Disney, he had this amazing vision, but you have to have, as we have a buddy, Artie, in the studio here says, you have to have wings and landing gear.
Yeah.
So his brother Roy, that most people don't know about, right?
Yeah.
But without Roy to be the integrator and make things happen, it's that critical balance.
Yeah, no question about it. Yeah.
Now, quickly on influence, we're going to get to the book and other subjects here, but my thought on influence is it's earned. It's it's not a title that you give someone in the company. You're not saying there's no such thing as a chief influencer officer. That's really earned, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well,
an influencer, when you say influencer, the first thing that comes to my mind is a person that works.
okay.
You got to be a worker.
Right.
If you're going to be an influencer, you have to be engaged, you got to be focused, and you got to be working towards a common goal. And that's what makes you an influencer, is somebody that's willing to put in the work and keep things going. Like Roy,
Yeah, yeah.
like Roy Disney.
Yeah. And so let's switch gears now to what you kind of brought to the marketplace in a big scale scope. This vision you had, and I've known about you and been involved in your organization since, not an early adopter, but I think back to 2007.
That's pretty early.
Yeah, I remember traveling to your facility, and I remember you telling about, and you share the story if you would, about you and Jody printing on a copy machine, these first cards that rolling off. Share that story.
Yeah. So when we first started SendOutCards, we were a brand new concept. Nobody ever done what we did before, and people would order a greeting card on the internet, and we would print and stuff the cards. And we had a little Doc 12. It's called a Doc 12 printer. It was a 4-color printer, but you had to run the paper through by hand. So you'd run the paper through and do one side of the card. You'd have to manually turn the paper over, run it back through the other way, and then we'd have to drive across town to a scoring machine at the print shop to do the scoring of the card.
And to the post office.
Yeah, and then Jody would go to the post office and she would fold the card and put them in envelopes. The kids would lick the stamps in the back seat. And, and back then we were sending 50, 60 cards a day. So.
For the day. And we're going to talk about some of the stats here fast forward to, but just hearing that story also resonates that that is a vision, that's something that there was the early days of the struggle. So you had that vision. I'm sure a lot of people, and you might even had some second thoughts about it, right? I mean, this is like almost like we're talking before Wi-Fi, we're talking like dial-up connection, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. And so, and even prior to SendOutCards, we still wanted to, the premise of SendOutCards is to help people reach out in kindness, act on your promptings, reach out in kindness. So even before SendOutCards, we were trying to find ways to do that. We'd literally do a seminar and teach people to go down to the store and buy greeting cards and put them in a folder that we sold.
Right.
I mean, so even before we had the internet, we were doing that.
So a lot of history there. And then, so fast forward to today, from those few cards rolling off hand printed on a machine to 170 million cards delivered one at a time.
Yep, we're 170 million cards in now.
And 7 million gifts.
Yeah, that's gone up now.
Oh, really?
It's
Okay.
about close to 10 million gifts now that we attach to it. So about 3% of all of our cards that come through have a gift attached to it that people want to send. So.
And I know I think you got a chance to meet Emily here in the building, and if you stop by our mail room, there's half the boxes are filled with brownies up there. Yeah.
Yeah, she mentioned she sends out thank you cards with brownies.
Yeah. So now we're going to come back to the impact that SendOutCards is making and how that story came about in current day. But let's now talk about the book, which is, as we mentioned, you're on tour here. This is your third stop on a 9-city tour. And I thought this is a pre-launch, but I'm looking at a physical copy of the book. So this is a working model of it, or?
Well, it is. It is a pre-launch. Everybody has to buy their book on Amazon right now, or pre-order it on Amazon.
Yeah, it's only for pre-order right now.
It's only for pre-order right now. Yeah.
All right. So what are some, talking about the book? What's the backstory of the book? Why this book?
Well, we started probably about a year and a half ago. We started doing this Facebook Live show.
Right.
We called it the Relationship Marketing Weekly Show, where I would interview people from different business niches. So insurance agents, real estate agents, car dealers. You name it. I mean, there's 25, 30, maybe 30 different niches that we interview.
I've seen a number of them.
Yeah, so seen those.
Now you're interviewing a podcaster
Right,
in the studio
that's right,
on
that's
Facebook
right.
Live here, yeah.
But we put them on the show, and I was just simply, we were talking about relationship marketing principles
Right.
and things they're doing in their business. And my goodness, the content of those shows from those guests was just phenomenal. So we got the idea, well, we really should compile these and put them into a book. And I had some other ideas for the book too, because there's some principles of relationship marketing that I've wanted to be able to teach in a wider scale. And so with those principles and the interviews of all these different people, we came up with the concept to put this book together.
And I know an earlier book that was a big hit for you was Promptings. Is this carrying on that, or is this a different message to a different audience? Or
it has, you know, every author has their, you know, their little message.
Chicken soup of the soul.
Exactly. So it has a lot of the same messaging that Promptings does. It is a completely different book, though. Promptings is kind of the backstory behind SendOutCards. It's highly personal development type of book. Where this one, Power of Human Connection, there definitely is personal development chapters in it, but it's more of a business book. I mean, it's truly, and it's not just about sending cards and gifts.
Right, yeah.
In fact, we don't really even talk about send out cards in the book. We talk about relationship marketing, but we also talk about the importance of business, prospecting, presenting, following up, how to do a sales approach the relationship marketing way.
Right.
We talk about that in the book.
And I was thinking about this in the days leading up to this conversation and interview, this whole premise of, in your bio description when you're talking about the visionary or the vision of your service, and that it's not really a CRM, you call it a relationship marketing. So you kind of took the C out of it, and I'm acting on a prompting, if you will, I would call it a PRM, right? So because in business, there's nothing wrong with thinking in terms of a person as a client or a customer. They're really a person, though, right?
That's right.
So what if you were to call it a personal relationship marketing?
Yeah, I like it.
You like that one?
That's
Yeah.
Good. That's good. Good job.
That's a new chapter in the book. Yeah. Okay, we got that side. Yeah, we'll talk to our attorneys afterwards. But yeah, but I think that's your message. That's always been ingrained in you, right? It's about that person. I mean, I've known a number of stories from people that have worked with you. It just really resonates that it's in business. It is about acquiring new customers, establishing the relationships, but don't think about them as a database, right? They're people with lives and hopes and dreams and. Right?
That's exactly right. We talk about that a lot through the book and in all the courses that we do. The importance, power of human connection, the importance of making
Great
connection.
title, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let's hit on some of these chapters. We don't have time to hit them all because we want to leave a teaser for them to buy the book, right?
Sure.
So we talked about people thinking in term relationship markets more focus on the first than the second than the first, right?
Yeah, the first. So relationship marketing is about the first word, not the second word.
Okay.
And that's really important because most people, when they think of relationship marketing, they're thinking about the second word.
Yeah.
How can I get something out of this?
Right.
Well, we say, no, it's more about the first word. What can you give to it?
Yeah.
Relationships are about giving to somebody.
Right.
Marketing is about getting from somebody.
Right.
So we talk about the importance of, in fact, relationships are everything. If you do relationships right, you don't really have to worry about the marketing side of things, and that's, we talk a lot about that in the book.
I mean, that's that giver's gain philosophy, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I know you're a big proponent in alliance with BNI and that organization.
Yep.
So talk to us about this relation 80% of the time versus 20%.
Well, a lot of people, when they're focused on going out and acquiring customers, they're focusing on marketing. And they want to do all they can to capture a customer, acquire a customer, get leads, do all that kind of stuff. So their focus is all on marketing. What we do is we say when you go out and you establish relationship from the very beginning, when you establish relationship people, you should focus on the relationship only at least 80% of the time. So as an example, if let's say there's 5 touch points, you make a phone call, you send a text, you send a greeting card, you send an email, and you post on social media.
Right.
What we're saying is 4 out of those 5 times, that touch, that reach out to that person ought to be about relationships, not asking for anything from that person, just trying to get to know the person and to warm up to the person. 1 out of those 5, maybe you can talk a little bit about what you're doing.
Right. I mean, this speaks to age old. You get what you give to the world, right? And all right. So, what other points we want to hit on the book? We talked about traditional sales and marketing, how you're kind of putting a flip on this, right? And you kind of hit some of these points as well about building that relationship's the most important. What other? So we know a little bit about the book, and the backstory behind it. So who's your audience, or who's the reader? Who's going to be enticed to engage with this book?
I think most of the readers are small to mid-sized business owners or salespeople. A lot of salespeople or people who are in marketing will have an interest in this book because it really does teach you how to acquire customers the referral way. You know, the stories that we have in the book, most of those stories coming from all different industries, people are telling the stories of how they use our relationship marketing system and they evolve to 100% referral business. Now, I don't know anybody that would not want 100% of their business coming from referrals, but that's what this kind of a system does for businesses. So I would think anybody that wants referral business would want to read the book.
Yeah. Good pitch there, yeah. So what's the timeline for this year?
The timeline for launch, it's going to, the official launch of the book is August 28th on Amazon. It's in pre-launch right now, so you can pre-order the book right now on Amazon. In fact, if you go to KodyBateman.com, what is it?
/launch.
/launch, KodyBateman.com /launch. It will take you to the Amazon page where you can get the book.
Okay, cool. So talk to us about tonight's event. What's going to be cooking there?
So tonight we have an event downtown Atlanta. We invite basically anybody can come to it. It's a kind of a twofold event. In addition to the book, as you know, I'm the founder of a company called SendOutCards.
I've heard of those guys.
Yeah. So tonight's a twofold meeting. We have a training for our SendOutCards affiliates that work with us, and then we have a book launch party where we talk about the book itself and highlight the book, kind of like what we're doing right now.
Right. And I got an alert on the whiteboard that for those people who don't know, it's Kody with a K.
That's right.
All right. So you mentioned the event tonight and about the book, but also be remiss to leave off the opportunity that's attached with this phenomenal creation that you've brought to the marketplace. And I actually have a sample here of what we did in the studio here. So that's our buddy Artie that's in the studio. So when he launched his new show, we sent a card, and then we do a whiteboard outlining the premise of the show, right? Yeah. So
cool.
It's pretty cool. But for the opportunity, I don't know if you would buy into this kind of analogy, but it's much like Keller Williams. We just had them in the studio recently, right?
Yeah.
So they have a unique value proposition that they offer. You can be run your own real estate business, or you can become a broker and build a team of those folks as well, right? Yes or yes?
Yes. And we actually do something very similar. Again, relationship marketing is it's an incredible concept. People love to talk about it. There's a natural word of mouth process to this. If somebody uses our system and they send cards and gifts out to their clients and they get referral business, they naturally talk to people about it. In fact, what happens is they send cards out, and people they get that receive the cards will call them and say, "How did you do that?"
Right.
So it's a natural word of mouth business for us. So we do have an affiliate program, a network marketing system that we have attached to it if people want to get involved.
Yeah, because there's in this day and time, there are more people, I think, engaged in the gig economy, they call it, right? So between the Ubers and the Lyfts, right, and these freelancers, right? And so it's not the traditional workplace where you just did one source of income, right?
Oh yeah.
So this is a great option.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
I'm sure you'll agree with all this. We talked about a little of the mechanics, how it works. Before we switch gears to our panel discussion here, what I'm excited about a business person, we're looking at really ramping up in the studio to use the service is, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a recent announcement about this new flat rate pricing.
Yeah.
And you've simplified the whole process, right?
Well, and I tell you, there's a reason that we did this, and please allow me the time to kind of walk you through this, because it actually ties into the messaging of the book.
Okay.
When we teach the concept of relationship marketing, and we use a real physical, tangible greeting card system to implement relationship marketing, like we've shown. There's three ways that you should be sending cards out. There's three distinct ways. And the first one is what nobody understands at first. The first way is what we call a heartfelt card. The second way is a group send. Now, everybody knows what a group send is, so if you want to send a card like a Christmas card to 150 people on your list, that's a group send, right? And a lot of people will use SendOutCards just for a group send, so they can get their holiday cards out every year. The third type of card is what we call a scheduled send. Now, a scheduled send is you could do drip campaigns. I could send you 5 cards in a year, and it's pre-scheduled. The system sends the cards automatically for you. Heartfelt send, group send, and scheduled send. So what we did is we created packages around that. Now, most people skip to the group and the scheduled, but they don't get the heartfelt. But I'm telling you, Rich, the heartfelt card is the most important of all in business. If people will send 3 to 5 heartfelt cards a day, a heartfelt card is where you just reach out to somebody, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm thinking of you. Hey, I want to thank you for a good job that you did. I want to congratulate you. Whatever it is, that's what a heartfelt card is. And that is the single most important touch that you can send to anybody at any time. So we created a package. We're going to make it so easy for you to do heartfelt cards. You just can't turn it down.
Listening to this offer here,
You can't turn down.
This is a pretty sweet deal.
$97 a month. You can send as many heartfelt card sends as you want, stamps included, anywhere in the world.
No cap on that.
No cap on it. Now, it has to be a unique card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the one-offs, that personal
we're not,
touch. It's about the human connection, not about campaigning. That has its place, right?
That's right. So there's the different card types. The heartfelt card is designed for you to really think about the person, sit down, type the message, or voice the message in your smartphone.
And you can also upgrade, or not upgrade, but include your own personal handwriting.
Yeah, that's right. It can come in your own.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you have more moving parts and more. There's other people that are doing similar offerings potentially, right? But I don't think there's one place that kind of does all the moving parts that you do, from the photos to the gifts to the handwriting to the campaigns to the one-offs. But that deal for business people, if you're listening, I don't know if we hold them to this price. We'll do, because it's kind of evergreen, right? But the premise is for a flat rate for the entire month, unlimited one-off, a personal card to somebody you know, with the postage included, and the postage is going up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you pull that off, whatever, right? Maybe it's like the gym membership. Not everybody uses it, right?
That's right.
But, I don't want to give away the secret there. Sorry, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
But it speaks to your mission that you want people to make those connections. And especially in this day in the world, we're so disconnected.
Well, here's what's funny. I have a philosophy. A lot of people ask me, they'll ask me, why are you doing this unlimited card send thing, and are you going to make money at it? Well, smart people have done the studies. We know how we'll make money at it. We're not worried about it. But I believe in a philosophy that what you send out comes back to you. If I provide a way for the world to send out unlimited heartfelt cards every day, I know that the laws of the universe, law of attraction, will come back and bless our company. Now, some people think that's weird, but I don't think it's weird. I think it's visionary.
Well said, sir. Yeah. All right, so we got just a couple minutes before we open up the panel discussion here. I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot right here. We didn't rehearse this or practice it, so we can edit this in later. But if you had to think of your company is often known as SOC, right? Send out cards. But if you were to substitute those 3 letters without using the word send or out or card, what comes to mind?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and, if you want me to start, I'll start.
Okay.
So I was thinking of this. I got a head start on you. So I'm thinking, show others care.
That's good. That's
you
good.
like that one?
That's
and
good.
We'll have some panel here as well, right? You got another one?
Yes. Systems of kindness, spelt with a C.
Kindness, yeah. Kody with a K. I got another one. Send out checks.
That's good. Yeah.
I think I had that.
You did think about this before the show.
I think I had that domain name for a while as well. Yeah. All right, Kody. So our last segment before we bring in the panel. Actually, panel, if you guys want to go ahead and pull up right here. Dave, you want to take that seat right there? Bring in your chair. Mike will take this chair, and then Artie, if you'll swap out with Locke. Locke, I got that right that time. Okay. Hey, Locke, our engineer, say a word to. What do you think so far of the show, right? And guys, once you get situated here, yeah. So Dave, you want to take that seat, Michael?
I'm seeing the vision and the visionary in this podcast right now.
Yeah, it's coming to light, yeah. All right, so Kody, I came up with this idea too. So I did a little research on the top 50 companies that are considered, identified by Forbes and other significant companies as visionaries and influencers, right? So I'm going to do rapid fire here real quick. And actually we'll open it up to everybody here at the table, right? So all I want you to do is I'm going to name a company brand, a name, and you tell me who gets to it first. tell me the first, even just the first person's name. If you got the last name, that's extra credit. But just the first person, the founder, the visionary behind that brand. You guys ready? You got the premise? Artie, you in?
Drum roll.
Locke, we got everybody fired up with audios? Okay, here we go. So guys, ready? Amazon.
Jeff.
Okay. Berkshire Hathaway.
Warren.
All right. Dave, are you in? Dave, are you playing?
He's fast.
Yeah.
He is fast.
He didn't see the list ahead of time either, yeah. Starbucks.
Oh.
Howard.
Howard, yeah, Howard. Okay, already got that one. All right, Microsoft.
Job.
Bill.
Oh, Bill.
Gates.
Bill, yeah. Okay, extra credit for last name, yeah. Facebook.
Zuckerberg.
Okay. Walmart.
Sam.
Wow, you guys are getting a little
You're
faster
too
here.
fast.
I know.
Real
Give,
fast.
at least breathe, Michael, for a second. Whatever, yeah.
I just got off a
Okay,
plane,
yeah.
so I'm a little
Right, exactly. McDonald's.
Right.
Ray.
Ray Kroc, yeah. SendOutCards.
Cody.
I didn't even get that.
You're the-
I didn't even
hey,
get it.
with a K. Yeah, with a K. And you made it in the top 50 list here. It was a write-in vote, but yeah. All right, guys. Artie joined in as well. So actually, we should introduce for the people that are just listening on a podcast. So joining us now on our final segment, the Roundtable. Again, you're listening to the Visionaries and Influencers podcast. I'm your host, Rich Casanova, alongside the visionary, the man, the myth, the legend. I don't know whether titles to add to your byline, right? Mr. Kody Bateman, flying in all the way from Salt Lake City on his tour with his book, The Human Connection. And actually, before we forget, how would folks reach out to you? It's basically CodyBateman.com.
Yeah, they can go to CodyBateman.com/launch, and they can get information on the book itself. So yeah.
And home address, social security number, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, and Dave Smith, introduce yourself, you would?
So I'm Dave Smith, been with Kody since the beginning of his SendOutCards vision, which started long before any of you guys ever heard of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, and just been around. Kody and I actually, this is interesting story. We met at 8 years old at a junior jazz basketball league.
Wow.
We were both point guards, so we fought over the ball a lot. Yeah.
I knew you were childhood friends, and I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
That's how we met. Yeah.
All right, and Artie Reutimann.
Artie Reutimann is the principal of Innovative Growth Solutions, a contract business development firm, and the host of Business Developers Network right here on Pro Business Channel.
And we also known in the studio as Artio.
Artio.
And I saved this guy for last because we have joining us in the studio Michael Moore, but not that Michael Moore.
The Michael Moore.
The Michael Moore. So Michael Moore, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm the Michael Moore. I have a moniker out there as well. It's called Rainmaker and Chief Storyteller, because the other Michael Moore already used my name too much.
Right, exactly.
But past president of Buckhead Business Association, longtime resident of Atlanta, and host the Buckhead Business Show as well as Georgia Business Radio shows here on Pro Business Channel.
So guys, so your thoughts on this power of one, this human connection, one-on-one, and visionary and influencers?
Well, you got to start doing it somewhere, and you got to find somebody and start talking to them and being honest and transparent.
You had some thoughts before the show on visionary.
I did indeed. Well, on vision, but I want to go to the relationship side. You made a comment before about, what was it,
SOC, send out card, yeah.
No.
Oh, but it show others care.
Right. And if we all remember, selling pre-2000 and into the 2000s was all about Glengarry Ross, ABC, always be closing.
Right.
And that has changed.
Yes.
And the acronym I use for it now is ABC, always be caring.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't have an acronym for you.
I know exactly.
But I got, it's funny because 4 or 5 nights ago, I'm sitting at home just going through some stuff, getting ready to go on this trip. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, if people just had the same emotional connection to the word customer that they do the word friend,
Right.
then the world would be a better place. The customers would be appreciated more. And that's what we're doing. We're helping people appreciate people. But so that was heavy on my mind that night for some reason, is why don't people attach the same emotions to the word friend or the same emotions to the word customer as they do friend, right?
Right.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're out here teaching.
Speaking of that, I was just this week. I was at a B&I group, and there was somebody representing SendOutCards, and she was giving hugs out to everybody. And here I am talking about our studio and so forth, my excitement, right? And I got some introductions, referrals, but she was getting so much attention. right? Just because it is that the persona was her as a friend, somebody you could relate to.
Yeah, no question. But although when you say that, I just want to refer with the book's not about just hugging people all day, you know.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
did
it's
spend
cool
the
and
day,
everything,
huh?
but it's cool and everything. But
No,
it's
you
yeah,
set the stage that this is for business people. This is a different book than Promptings, right?
it is, and it's don't get me wrong. It's great to hug somebody or great to show somebody that you care, like we've been talking about. And I think it's really important. We talk about this in the book a lot. A lot of people that are listening to this right now are probably saying, oh, yeah, I hear about this relationship stuff again. I guess it's okay. No, people don't realize just how significant it is in today's marketplace, because if I want to purchase something, like you were saying a minute ago, the ABC always be closing, those days are gone. The reason those days are gone is because I can Google anything I want. I Google whatever I'm interested in, and I find out everything there is to know about that. I know how much it costs. I know what the competition does. I know everything before I even go talk to a salesperson. So today, relationship is more important than it's ever been before, because people aren't going to buy from you unless they know, like, and trust you. Period.
And the part of the subtitle of your book right here kind of speaks to that message you're just talking about. So it is the human connection in relation to marketing, but transforming the way people succeed.
Yeah.
You know, for business people, that's what they kind of are drawn to, right? What can I do different than the forces, the disruptors in their industry that sets them apart?
If I can chime in, and Kody, if you can give us examples of what that caring is like. I'll give you one personal one, where we all want to have clients and prospects on our LinkedIn. And most people do not take the time to touch and care. They just put, hey, join me on LinkedIn, or they just touch the automatic. So I always make a mental note, or I write it on the back of a card, son getting married that weekend. And just putting that one personal comment, that's one example for me. Can you add to that of how a salesperson or anybody that wants to generate business could care?
Well, I think a key in using our system is that you do just care about people and try to create relationship with people, even people that you don't know. I'll give you one story. In fact, this lady is going to be with us tonight, Gail Zintag, from Kalamazoo, Michigan. She's in real estate, and she's a highly successful real estate agent using our relationship marketing system. She tells a story, and she makes a habit of doing this. She goes to networking events, and she makes a point to meet people. She takes pictures of them, and she sends them greeting cards with their picture on it. Just say, hey, nice to meet you. Well, I'm going to tell you this quick story, and it's in the book. This story's actually in the book.
That's great.
But she tells stories where she went to a networking event, and there was a bunch of catering companies there competing to see who got the best dish. And it was a big, huge networking gala event, 250 people there, and there's like 15 cater companies. Well, the guy that won it, the catering business that won it, she went and took a picture of the guy, sent him a card, you know, and congratulated him for winning the deal. She loved his dishes and all that kind of stuff. And right at the bottom, she just signed it with her and her husband's picture on it from her realty company. So it's just a subtle little message at the bottom, said from ABC Realty Company. So a year goes by, out of the blue, this guy calls her and says, hey, I met you at this deal, you sent me this awesome card, guess what, I need to buy a house, can you help me buy a house? Well, long story short, that story, he ended up buying a house, and she became their real estate agent. 5 years have gone by, she's sold 9 homes to that guy and his family members and his closest friends from one card that she sent out just celebrating the guy. So that's an example.
Did you mention she's in Atlanta for this?
She's
event?
here tonight,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
she'll be here tonight.
We'll definitely look forward to that.
Yeah.
Some of us are planning on attending.
Oh, good.
And we may, with your permission, put you on the spot a second time here, right?
Yeah.
So we may want to capture some conversations at the event and incorporate this in the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be
right?
great.
Okay, awesome. So 2 last thoughts. We're almost out of time here. So Locke, if you want to grab the controls right here, we're going to wrap up here in just a second. So. What you just spoke to, because we did get a little bit off tangent about, you know, hugging and so forth, but for business people, it's that helping them succeed in their business. And what you just hit on was this premise of top-of-mind marketing, right?
Yeah.
So if you stay in touch often enough, when they need that real estate agent, when they need whatever that service is, you're going to be, you're not going to get lost in the email clutter or whatever, right? And right? You're gonna stand out.
Well, you can't put a Facebook post on the wall, like, you know what I'm saying? You can't frame it. So when you send a tangible greeting card with somebody's picture on it,
Yeah.
they frame them. They frame them and put them on the walls.
No,
And that's, so when you talk about top of mind, that's what it is. People don't throw away these cards. So you do stay top of mind.
well, two thoughts along that line. We're talking about, if you ever notice the reason why a lot of realtors put their photo on their business card. And when you go through 100 business cards, you can't remember half of these people. But for some reason, I'm going to do psychological, but it's harder to throw away that photo of someone, right, as opposed to just a random card. But you're reading my mind as well, because I've used the service throughout the years, and I've visited people or family or friends, and a couple of people do have the cards framed, but business people still have that on their shelf from years later. I mean, it's a powerful thing. Yes or yes?
Yes, yes.
All right, guys, Locke, if you want to get ready to send us off here. So Kody, we get the call to action, so go to kodybateman.com to find out about the book and your story and so forth. So what's next for you, for the book, for SendOutCards? What's on the horizon here?
Well, we really feel that the book will be a great tool for SendOutCards people to take the message to the world. We're about educating the world on how to be nice to each other. People ask me all the time, what do you...
Whoa. No, I was just saying for you all to switch here. Whatever. Yeah.
People ask me all the time, what do you do? We just teach people how to be nice to each other. So when you say, what's coming next, that's what's coming next. We're going to teach the whole world how to be nice to each other and just keep on doing it.
One card at a time.
One card at a time, that's right.
Good.
Before we leave,
Yeah.
we also have an integration product coming out called Sendogo, where we're integrating the SendOutCards philosophy into CRMs.
Really?
Yeah, so you'll be able to use any CRM that you want, and it'll plug right into our
Serious?
system. Yeah.
So a lot of people staying in line, I want to be part of that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Dave, you should
I
open
mean, I'll give
Right?
you,
I mean,
I'll give you
yeah,
a list
how
of
do
the
we-
ones I want to go ahead and make sure.
By the way, Dave's heading that up. Dave
Really?
is heading
Okay.
up that department.
my
for
new
us,
best
so-
friend,
Yeah.
Dave.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's right. Michael Moore, right?
Yeah.
Right, did I tell you I used to be one of the top act sales
Yeah.
guys in the country?
Yeah. That's good to know.
Well, guys, gentlemen, it's been a fascinating conversation. Kody, appreciate your time. Dave and the whole crew here joining us in the studio. Look forward to the book release again on August 28th, I think it was.
Yes, it
right?
is.
Okay.
Order now, order often.
Yep, absolutely. So Rich Casanova signing off on behalf of Kody Bateman, one of our guests here for Visionaries and Influencers podcast. We'll see you on the next episode.
On behalf of the Pro Business Channel networks, we want to thank you for listening and today's influencers
Michael.
for sharing their vision. And to Rockstars Podcast
Michael.
Studios, creators of podcasting as a service, offering rentals, production, and distribution. Visit rockstarspodcaststudios.com. Also, to Podcasters Directory, the world's largest directory for and about podcasters. Register now at podcastersdirectory.com. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe now across the PBC syndicated networks,
Pages are on.
iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Share this episode using the Easy Share social media links and join Rich Casanova next time for more conversations with visionaries and influencers.
Hey, man, this
Thanks,
was
brother.
awesome. Yeah,
Thank
this was
you.
awesome. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I had to check the page number, 288 pages.
Yeah. This is kind of a rough draft.
Yeah,
book
just a
here.
prototype of it, yeah.
We actually have books there tonight. So
Oh,
what
wow,
we're
okay.
doing-
Awesome.
Nice
They're
books.
all in color. The books
Yeah.
are all in color. But so the way we do it is anybody that's pre-ordered,
Yeah.
they'll still get a copy on August 28th from
Right.
Amazon. But
Right.
we're going to give them a copy tonight.
Dang.
So pretty much everybody walks out with a copy of the book.
Yeah.
So it kind of works out good, and they get a free. If you do the pre-launch, probably should have said this on this.
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
If they do the pre-launch, they also get a free copy of the audiobook.
Oh, dang.
So the audiobook will be done.
That's
It's already
what I-
been recorded, but it'll
That's
be.
what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will do that.
So anybody that pre-buys gets 2 copies of the book and the audiobook. So it's like $16. So.
Yeah. No, I have like a ton of books on Audible, and just you can listen anywhere, anytime,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do some kind of stage photos here, if you will. So let me see here.